Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hot and Hauter podcast. I'm Arti.
And I'm Dan.
Every episode, I give Dan a recipe and we find out if it's
A success,
or a disaster.
nevertheless, it's bound to be an adventure. Let's get to cooking.
Okay, all right.
How was your? Well, I mean, I don't know if you're ready, but hopefully, you've made a eggnog before, or just consumed it before.
Strictly consumed in obnoxious quantities.
Okay.
During December, I mean, that's all I drink, really.
You sound like you've had a couple already.
I mean, no, I don't drink them with alcohol in them. I just like eggnog. It's delicious.
Okay.
Which is funny because I'm not, I'm kind of lactose intolerant and such.
Oh,
So
I bet that does play a little effect into that.
it's not the best, but it's delicious. So sometimes you take the L.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You take the win up front, but then the L follows.
exactly. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. You don't get to attend too many post-win parties.
I mean, depends on your definition of a party.
You could just left it at depends.
Right? Depends. That's the after eggnog celebration, truly.
Well, yeah. So if you haven't picked up on it, we're doing eggnog. This is our second holiday special,
Number 2.
and we decided to kind of do this one. The end of the year is just always crazy busy for everyone, and throw in work, kids, school, all that stuff, and it's such a hectic time. And as hard as we try to stay on a schedule, life does jump up and bite us sometimes, and we decided that it would probably be best to do a little bit of a shorter episode, and then kind of take a break until after the new year and get started back up in January.
I mean, really, it's our season finale.
Yeah, there you go. It's our
Oh.
No, I mean, hey, I've seen some terrible season finales from other shows, so it's fine. As long as it's not our series finale, we're good to go.
Yeah, right. There you go.
But yeah, so hopefully this will come out, I believe 2 weeks before Christmas, and we're gonna kind of take a little break and then pick it back up right after the start of the new year.
Yep.
And I mean, if you want to do a quick little reflection here, I've had a blast this last year. Come to think of it, I mean, we started
Yeah.
this in January, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So I mean, this is episode like 2025.
I think so. I can check.
I know, but it's hard to imagine that we've pretty much gone the whole cycle of seasons together, Artie.
Yeah, right. I mean, we actually stuck through for a legit year. So
why do you sound so surprised?
Because it's impressive.
There's only 3 things in my life I've done so far this long, and one of them's been with my wife. One of them's had my job, and now this podcast.
So there it is.
But yeah, I will say, not to get too nostalgic, but kind of looking back, I have learned a metric ton of things to do and not to do in the kitchen, and it's been fun. I'm looking forward to where this takes me, but
Yeah.
I've also enjoyed how far I've come.
Yeah, dude, it's impressive. I mean, the whole premise of the show has kind of been blown apart because of you.
Well, okay, I'm not fishing for compliments, but yes, I have.
Yes,
learned,
Dan, you're an amazing cook. Yes, Dan.
Well, I couldn't have done it without your amazing teaching, Artie. Here, are we done? We done patting each other on the back?
Now I feel awkward.
It's all good. I just want to say thank you. This has been a lot of fun, and as we break for the holidays, dude, I look forward to seeing what torturous things you put me through in the next year.
I know. I gotta come up with some things.
Nah, I'm not scared anymore. Bring it on.
oh, the gauntlet has been thrown.
I just shot myself in the foot there.
All
Fantastic.
right, so let me see. We're gonna do pasta from scratch, our own bread. We're gonna go
You
milk
know,
our own cows.
whoa, pump the brakes.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that
Pump
too
the
much?
brake. I don't
You
know
gotta,
what my access to cows level is around here.
we got to raise our own grain now. We got it.
Honey, we have to buy a farm.
What did you do?
Don't blame me. It's Artie.
I pushed him too far.
No. But on on the subject of it, when you I guess when you do a food podcast and you tell your
Mhm.
family members, they suddenly have a theme to latch onto for the holiday season. So I have gotten so many cooking utensils and cooking supplies. My mom came into town and she bought me
Mhm.
two Dutch oven, a set of two Dutch ovens and a set
Nice.
of two cast iron um,
Ooh, sweet.
skillets.
That's awesome.
And then my mother-in-law bought me pretty much every attachment that goes on the front of a KitchenAid mixer. So
Ooh,
I've got
yes.
I can slice, I can spiral, I can, do my own I can slice my own pasta. I know there's a term for that. I don't remember the term. I got like
Mhm.
4 or 5 attachments. So
Okay.
I am set for whatever you decide to throw at me, sir.
Oh, dude. Well, all right. You got the tools.
Now I just got to learn how to use them better.
Now it's time to have fun.
Yes. Well, with this being our last episode this year, we decided to go festive with it, like we said, holiday season, and we were kind of trying to come up with ideas, and we hadn't really thought of this before, but we haven't really done drink episodes.
Nope. We have
And
not.
would you count drinks as part of the culinary world?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know if it had to be cooked or if it had to be
No, it's
whatever.
still a recipe. You're still building something from ingredients.
That's true. That's true. Well, why don't you tell everybody what we decided to do?
I think you already did. You said
Well, I
eggnog.
know, but like I'm trying to tie it back in so you're included more.
Oh my gosh. Why am I even here anymore, Dan? God. Yeah, we did eggnog. We did eggnog. My favorite holiday drink. Kind of a problem, let's be honest. It's just saying I can handle like a quart of eggnog to
Oh,
myself. No problem.
like in one sitting?
Oh no, I'm not a monster. I'm like two sittings.
That's fair.
It's
So
slightly better.
so you would say you're well versed in eggnog. I'm sure you've had a myriad of different styles, recipes, variants. Because like this is a
Yeah.
drink that you add things to kind of like
Yeah.
there's a little mixology to this drink.
Yeah, yeah. Usually eggnog has some sort of alcohol in it.
Okay.
You don't have to. You can just drink it by itself. Like I use it as creamer during the holidays. That's what I use if I want creamer in my coffee. So
Interesting.
it's pretty good. Yeah. But I do have a history of eggnog, so
Please tell us.
I will, and it is actually interesting. So, um, eggnog actually comes from something called posset, 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 and it is a drink that is from the medieval times. It originally started out as just eggs and dairy mixed with like strong ale or wine. So it goes back as far as like the 13th century. Monks would drink it with eggs and fig. The first use of the word eggnog is actually American, but the posset goes back to like English times.
Okay.
Um, they would uh, they would drink it with it was hot milk, and it would be curdled with wine or strong ale. Sounds disgusting.
Ugh.
And they used it as like a cold remedy. The other use was it was a drink for aristocracy because milk, eggs, all that stuff, mulled wine, and it was
Mhm.
expensive. So
Yeah.
you know, rich people doing their thing. And then you jump forward to 1775, and that's where the term eggnog is first seen in America, consisting of the words egg and nog, coming from egg and nog, so egg, because egg is in the strong ale. So
Mhm.
that's where it comes from. Um, and then the first printed use of the term is actually it's called the New Jersey Journal of March 26th in 1788. And it referred to a young man drinking a glass of eggnog. And then an 1869 dictionary entry for word eggnog defines it as mixture of wine, spirits, eggs, and sugar, but no mention of dairy. So
Interesting.
yeah, so I think that was kind of more of a at that time a like a geography thing. So like maybe in the South they use dairy, in the North they didn't, or like something like that.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Um, but yeah, so and that's what eggnog comes from. So like it dates back all the way to the medieval times, from a weird egg and wine drink that was used for colds and flus, all the way to our holiday delicious beverage of choice. So
I find
pretty interesting
I
and
find it
disgusting.
interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, the earlier versions are definitely
Yeah.
disgusting. Anytime you hear the word curdling,
Yeah, right.
you kind of raise an eyebrow to
You
that.
know what I feel like tonight, sweetheart? I feel like a nice glass of curdled eggs and wine. What do you say? You want to get
Nothing
wild?
sets the mood.
Put on a
The
little fiddle.
fiddle,
I don't know. That's like, not fiddle. I mean, what would they call it in Middle Times? I don't
honey,
know.
get to thy lute.
There it
Tonight
is.
we nog.
We nog and then we nog.
There you go. Um, Everything you listed in the ingredients screams cold weather drink.
Oh,
Um,
100%. Yeah.
I could not imagine drinking this during a hot time of the year.
You mean you don't want to drink this when it's like 102 outside? A
Well,
nice
funny you say that.
glass
The
of
last
nog?
week has been 80 plus degrees here in Texas. So,
That's so weird. Texas, get it together.
well, there's that's a whole nother podcast. But the
If it makes
thing,
you feel better, it was raining cold here the whole week. So, well, not
I
the whole
bet
week,
you
but it was
enjoyed
cold.
your nog. I
It was
bet you,
cold. I
yeah.
did. I did a lot.
So I couldn't find myself to go, man, I really want to drink egg infused milk and sugar when it's 82 degrees outside. And that just screams soupy, warm drink. That's all I want. But I've never really had eggnog. And prior to this moment and
Hmm.
this show, I don't think I've ever drank eggnog. And
Oof.
from what I understand, you either love it or you hate it. It doesn't seem like there's a middle road kind of vibe to eggnog. And it's like more of an acquired taste.
I mean, I only know people that love it.
There you go.
So I guess you're correct.
It's just anytime I mention it,
Hmm.
they either go, "Oh yeah, I love that," or "That's disgusting." And I've never found a person that has just
Uh-huh.
been, I could get down with some nog, but I could also live without it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah. Right.
nothing.
It's a so-so,
It's a whatever. But I never knew what went into it, and I never fully
Hmm.
understood it. I
Yeah.
figured it was a dairy drink,
Hmm.
and the word egg
Hmm.
implied that it was probably heavier.
Yeah.
I don't know if fattier would be the word to use. This doesn't seem like it's a very low calorie drink.
No, it is not. No, not at all.
I
I mean,
mean, we take that.
unless you're drinking the like alternatives, which are like, oat nog or whatever
Sure.
else. But yeah,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I've having not been experienced with it or exposed to it too much. I had little idea what I was getting myself into.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I'll get through the recipe here, and then I'll talk about my experiences. So this batch, um, by the way, it didn't say how much it would yield. So that was kind of a thing later on that I was a little concerned about.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wanted to say it was about 16 ounces,
Okay.
like 16 to like 18 ounces, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Okay.
I do know it was enough for like 2 cups, essentially.
Like mugs, you would say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, then I was on par because
Okay.
when I got to the straining section, I was weirded out. All right, so 6 large egg yolks, don't need the whites. Half a cup of granulated sugar, a cup of heavy whipping cream, 2 cups of milk. There's
Mm-hmm.
all that dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a pinch of salt, quarter teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then ground cinnamon for topping.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward recipe, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of elbow grease though, if you're not using a mixer or an emulsion blender.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
whisk the egg yolks and sugar together in a medium bowl until light and creamy.
Yeah.
I feel like that step is something that you could go too far on or not enough on, and that would
Yeah.
come to expert experience.
It really, you just want the egg yolk. Once you see the egg yolk become pake, like not pake. That's not what
Like
word.
beigey.
Yeah, once it lightens in color, then
Okay.
the sugar has done its job. Like, it doesn't need to be white and frothy. You don't want that. You just want you want the sugar to combine with the egg yolks. So you want the sugar to melt into the egg yolks, and then you'll see that has happened because the egg yolk lightens in color, and
Okay.
that's your goal.
About how long, just out of reference, do you think whisking this would
Um,
take?
I did it by hand, so I whisked it by hand, and it took me like 3 minutes, like
Okay.
really whisking.
Okay.
So not long.
Then the saucepan over medium high heat, combine
Hmm.
them, basically combine all the dairy, the
Yeah.
nutmeg, and the salt, and then
Hmm.
stir often until mixture reaches a bare simmer.
Yes.
And this is where I think this is where the start of my troubles happened, or
Hmm.
started to begin.
Hmm.
Anytime you involve egg and heat,
Hmm.
how fast you want that egg to be introduced to the heat is crucial. I've
Yeah.
learned that.
Yeah.
You don't want it to cook too fast. You don't
Nope.
want it to, be too cold.
Correct.
So this part of the recipe I don't think I dialed in my temperature just right.
Hmm.
And then as you introduce the hot milk to the egg mixture, one spoonful at a time, you're whisking vigorously. I guess you're
Yes.
trying to spread that heat out,
Yeah.
not shock the eggs.
We're tempering the eggs. We've tempered
Okay.
stuff before.
Yes, we have. And that's
So
kind of what
that's
I
all.
got.
Yeah, that's all we're doing. We're just
Okay,
tempering.
cool. And then, you just want to go one spoonful at a time. I wasn't
Hmm.
sure how fast to get this, temperature control wise.
Hmm.
Um, and then and that was another worry. And then on top of that, I was worried about over whisking everything and getting it
Oh,
too
yeah.
airy.
You don't have to worry
Um,
about that with this.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Because
that's not a concern.
I know some past recipes you do have to worry about over mixing and over whisking.
Yeah, since this is a beverage, like all those things won't come into play because it's a few ingredients. Like we don't have baking things, we don't have baking sodas, we don't have flour, we don't have things like that to worry about.
Okay.
So that like all those different ingredients can make something change based on how fast, how long you whisk, and things like that.
Got it.
But since it's just a beverage, it's just slowly introduce one thing into the other thing and just whisk until it's combined.
Cool. Then that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So then you keep adding big spoonfuls at a time,
Hmm.
just to temper the eggs. And then once most of the hot milk has been added to the eggs, you pour it back into the saucepan, still on that medium high heat.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then you just keep whisking constantly until the mixture is just slightly thickened.
Hmm.
And then you set about 160 degrees Fahrenheit on a thermometer,
Yeah.
and then it will thicken as it cools.
Yeah.
So this is probably the part where you need to be careful and have your eggs fully tempered,
Yes.
and because they will cook
Yeah.
if
Yeah. You'll make scrambled eggs.
yes.
Yeah.
I made a little scrambled eggs, just a little
Okay.
bit,
Hey,
just a little bit.
that's
I might
okay.
not have got to the 16-ounce mark because I had about 3 ounces of scrambled egg, but
That's okay. That's okay.
thank God for the strainer. Anyway, so we're going to whisk constantly for a few minutes until the mixture slightly thickens, and then it will thicken more as it cools. Remove from the heat, stir in the vanilla and alcohol. This is the
Hmm.
other thing I think I got a little bit of trouble with.
Uh-huh.
We just went to the kitchen and I think we had some whiskey bourbon or
That's fine.
whatever.
That works.
Yeah, however, it didn't say how much to add.
So that's up to you.
Yeah, I see that now because I came out with some stout eggnog. And
Yes.
I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't know what I was getting into. I was kind of
Uh-huh.
skeptical,
Uh-huh.
especially after the straining. I
Yeah.
call that the
Yeah.
straining, whatever you want to call it. But you add your alcohol, your vanilla. That's a little bit more of a flavor
Hmm.
profile addition there.
Yeah.
And then you pour the eggnog through a fine mesh strainer into a
Yeah.
pitcher or other container and cover with plastic wrap.
Yeah.
Then you refrigerate, thickens as it cools. If you want it thinner, add more
Yeah.
milk, blend it in until smooth, and then sprinkle cinnamon or nutmeg and serve with whipped cream if desired.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then good for a week in the fridge.
Yeah.
So, when I went to strain, I
Hmm.
realized that I had some cooked egg at the bottom of the saucepan,
Okay.
and I felt that that restricted the amount of nog I was able to extract from
Okay. All
the
right.
said eggs,
Okay.
to the point where I had that mesh and I had a spoon and I would pour it into the mesh and it wasn't really draining too fast. So I took this spoon and I'm just wiggling around in that, moving the eggs around so the actual liquid can make it through. So I more or less sifted. I sifted
Nice.
some eggnog instead of just strained.
Nice. So make sure you sift your nog, everybody. I mean, that can happen.
Well,
Um,
it certainly did.
hey, if for being your first time making eggnog and you only b- slightly cooking the egg, not bad.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I may change it to cook it on low, like a simmer, and constantly whisk. So now just kind of help prevent that cooking of the egg.
So like
Um,
when you add the egg mixture back into the pan, turn it to
yeah,
low?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think that would
yeah,
probably
yeah.
be
Instead
best.
of the medium. Um, I was just more concerned when I did the meat. I was concerned about. I mean, I don't want to poison anybody. I
Sure,
mean,
raw egg.
yeah, we're going with raw egg. I mean, technically, if it's 1/6, so when you combine the milk into the egg, the milk should be about 165 already. So
Mhm.
when you're tempering it, you're already cooking the egg and killing all the bacteria.
Sure.
So really, I don't know if even pouring it back in and heating it longer is needed, but better to be safe than sorry. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to change that to low.
Okay. Um, and then like I said, the alcohol, it was a little stout. It was a little
Hmm.
strong.
Hmm.
And I'm not much of a spirits drinker. I do
Hmm.
beer, but I don't
Hmm.
really do a lot of hard liquor or spirits or any of those
Yeah,
types of things.
yeah, I'm saying.
So I'm pretty uneducated when it comes to number one, you know, the ratios to
Hmm.
drinks
Yeah,
versus what I could handle and
yeah,
and all those other things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I would probably rely on someone else with a little bit more knowledge in that field to
Hmm.
spike my drink for me. But
Hmm. Yeah.
when I did strain it and into a pitcher, I
Hmm.
pretty much had about that much liquid.
All right.
I
All right.
mean, I would say you could get maybe two smaller coffee mugs worth
Yeah,
of
yeah, you can
liquid
do
out of
that.
that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was the texture is what I'm unfamiliar with as well.
Hmm.
What is this supposed to look like as it pours? Like, what are you looking for texture wise?
It just looks like milk, really. It looks like a slightly thicker milk. Like it looks like it's not as thick as heavy whipping cream, but it's not as thin as milk. So like in between.
Okay. And it's a little bit more airy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I think I hit that mark when it comes to texture and consistency of the liquid.
Uh-huh.
Um, I tried a spoonful of it, and then
Mhm.
I'm gonna go try some more here in a little bit. But
Mhm.
it tasted good. It didn't taste like it was a little strong on the liquor side, but that's just because I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
my eggs
Mhm.
took away more of the nog that would have offset that
Yeah,
liquor
yeah,
amount.
yeah. And maybe you had a heavy hand too. That's okay.
Hey, you know what? I was just trying to get my wife drunk. Who knows?
There you go. There you go.
But it was good. I think the flavor profile is really nice. I wasn't expecting it to be as sweet as it was because I thought the
Yeah.
alcohol would overpower it, but it actually
Yeah.
came out pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a dessert drink. I mean, 100%.
Okay.
Like this is a dessert.
Well, how did yours go?
It went really well. So I did something slightly different. Um, follow the process normally. So heat up all the dairy. I threw the spices in there, and then I cut open my last vanilla bean, threw the pulp in there and the bean and the cinnamon
Mm.
stick, and I boiled that in there, and I simmered that in there to just impart that flavor.
Well, if you're sifting it, it doesn't matter. I see.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then once that got to heat, before that I had mixed the sugar and the egg yolks together, and then with a quarter cup measuring cup, I just introduced that at one at a time, mixed it, kept doing it until I had about half the amount left. Because at that point, your eggs are tempered. When you've combined half the liquid in the egg, they're tempered. So
Mhm.
you just stream it in and while you whisk. And you just whisk the whole time. And then I removed the bean and the vanilla bean and the cinnamon stick and refrigerated it. I checked the temperature before and it was at 165 before I cooled it. So I let that sit out on the counter for a little bit to like come to room temp because I
Mhm.
didn't want to put something that hot in the fridge.
Why not?
And then um just the bowl would have been hot and then I poured it into like a large mason jar. I just didn't want a
Mhm.
hot mason jar on my on my fridge shelf.
Okay.
So put that in there, let it cool, and once it got nice and cold, pulled it out and just enjoyed it. It was delicious. Like I said, I
Nice.
love eggnog. So, and and mine. I think mine made about 16, 18 ounces.
Okay. So
So
you were more efficient in your straining process.
yeah, well, more efficient. And then I've done stuff like this before too.
Sure.
So I didn't then heat it more on the stove because I knew it didn't need it. I trusted my cooking skills and then that I read the temperature right and all that, so I put it away.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it turned out great. I mean, like I said, it's one of my favorite drinks. I love eggnog. I love eggnog. It's a problem.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's like a runny shake. It's really
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what I quit. If you've ever had like a vanilla milkshake,
yeah.
that's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, or excuse me, it's more like a custard shake because it has the
Yeah,
egg yolk.
custard has the egg.
So
Yeah, I would
so
yeah.
so if you've had a custard before, which you can get frozen custard from tons of ice cream shops.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I never get why people go, "Ew, that sounds gross." I'm like, "No, it doesn't. You've had a milkshake before. It's the it's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess that is
It's
true.
it's just a melted cold milkshake. That's all it is.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
it's delicious.
you've changed my perspective, Artie.
That's what I'm saying.
I
People,
shall
it's when people hear egg in things, it weirds them out for some reason. I don't know why. I think the idea of an egg weirds people out,
well, I
just
mean,
in general.
they understand how it can be dangerous if it's not handled properly.
Yeah, 100%. But
I mean,
all
if I hear raw egg, I'm
mhm,
immediately like, okay, clean surfaces, take care. What? Be
yeah.
careful. Okay,
But no eggnog is using raw egg. There, it's like it's got like the most industrial process.
sure.
So
It's just psychological.
yeah, that's all it is. There's like,
Okay.
ew, eggs. I don't like it, and you're like, well, more for me then.
Well, I'm glad
Just
yours turned out.
hey, yours turned out too. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
I'm gonna have a little bit more here in a little bit. Does your family enjoy eggnog as much as you? Do they nog as hard as you?
I mean, yeah, they would.
They would.
Yeah, if I allowed my children to do it, yes. I mean, it's sugar milk. So yeah, yeah.
Can you or like horchata? I love horchata.
Oh, oh, let's mark that one down. We'll make some horchata. Oh, dude. Every time I go somewhere that I know, there's a couple taquerias here in Chico that have
Yes.
like primo horchata where they actually make the horchata. I'm
Oh.
like, yes. I'm like, yeah, give me the biggest cup you have.
I don't want to take too many trips. Just give me it all.
And then it's like, do you want ice? I'm like, no, I don't want ice. I want I, I want 60 ounces of horchata, sir, madam.
Well, I think this was a success now that you've kind of alleviated some of the concerns I had.
Mhm.
I definitely I mean, do you make yours often or do you just go out and buy it?
I usually go out and buy it.
Okay.
But after making it, I think I'm gonna make it more because it's not hard.
No, it's
It's
not even
really
that
not
time
hard.
consuming.
No, it's literally a 15-minute thing.
Yeah. Now
That's
you
it.
have to be dedicated those 15 minutes because you're working with temperatures and constantly
Yeah,
whisking and stuff.
yeah,
It's not like you can set it and forget it and come back.
100%. But it's one of those things like once you do it, it's you made something that's so delicious. It's rewarding because you
Sure.
because you're gonna then consume the thing you made, and it's just cool. I think when during this Christmas, I'm gonna make just a ton of it
Mhm.
to have like during like Christmas dinner and stuff like that
That's
because
awesome.
everyone likes it. So I'm just gonna make a bunch.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Well, I mean, I think it was a great idea. I love the idea of doing a drink. I hope we can do more
Yeah,
drinks.
I think we're gonna have to.
Okay. we'll have to mix it up. But yeah,
Wow.
dude, I appreciate you opening my eyes to the world of Nog.
Is this our Aladdin moment?
I
Let me
guess
show you the nog.
sure.
Thick, creamy, frothy. Yeah, that's right. You heard that beautiful singing voice, everyone.
Woo,
You're
those
welcome.
dulcet tones. Oh man.
Let me show you the world.
We're gonna just start a vocal podcast of just Artie singing now.
Artie singing ASMR.
Nope, I would not sign up for that. Sorry, bud.
Hey, come on.
I'd throw you a subscription on YouTube and then mute the channel. I would not.
Who says it's gonna be YouTube?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then how about we just close this out before it gets too personal here, Artie?
What, dude? Twitch, come on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
I'm not pursuing that.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, and we're gonna do more drinks.
Done. Deal.
That's it. That's the plan.
Okay.
And if you guys have drinks that you know and you make, if you're a good mixologist, send your recipes our way. We keep saying this, and we've only had it happen one time.
Twice. We've had it twice.
Oh, we have had it twice. You're right. You're
We've
right.
had it twice.
Yeah. But for the rest of you listening and only listening, I better see more recipes.
It's a lot of the like, oh yeah, I'll send you this, and then we just never get it.
Yeah. Oh, I got a cool recipe.
Yeah.
Where is it, everybody?
All right, Artie's getting upset. We should put him to bed now. All right, Artie, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where they can find us?
Just go get my eggnog and go to sleep. Well, should I sing it?
No. Nope.
Wow, that hurts. You can find us everywhere. So we're Hot and Hotter on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We don't do TikTok too much. But there's a couple things there. And then you have our video podcast on YouTube at our Hot and Hotter channel. Our audio podcast, which is everywhere you get podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our website, hauntanthauter.com, which has recipes and our audio podcast as well. You can listen to it on the website. And yeah, that's us. That's us.
And you can reach out to us on any of those platforms if you have ideas and stuff that you'd like to share with us.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for us, man. Have a happy and safe holiday season through the new year. Hope you, if you're traveling, you do it safely and everybody gets there happy.
Yeah, no traveling for us. Just going to be at home and have an awesome holiday yourself, buddy.
Thank you. We hope to.
Get all the gifts you want. I hope Santa brings you something nice.
Well, my birthday happens 2 days before Christmas, so it's always just kind of lumped together. It's just one big palooza.
My oldest is the 22nd. So
there you go. You know what? Yeah. We should start a self-help group, the two of us.
Just you and my child.
Living in Jesus's shadow.
My birthday is overshadowed.
Or if you're not religious, just living in the pagan holidays shadow, whatever you want to call it.
Right. I'm overshadowed by something at all times on my birthday.
But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what we do in the new year, brother.
Yeah, I got plans.
I bet you do.
Plans.
Okay. Jeez.
All right. Take it easy, y'all. Keep cooking. Bye.
See ya.